Hi, welcome back to Think Like Bruce Lee. I'm Chris Kent. When I began training in Jeet Kune Do, I was given a student notebook which contained all sorts of information relating to Jeet Kune Do, including numerous quotes by Bruce Lee. One of these quotes read, "Life is combat and should be dealt with accordingly. If you understand combat, you understand life." And I remember thinking, wow, what a pessimistic way of looking at life that is. And without a proper understanding of the quote, that would indeed seem to be true. But if we view the quote in the correct context, we can see how true the correlation between life and combat really is. Let's start by defining what Bruce Lee meant by combat. He was referring to some form of physical conflict that takes place between two individuals. Not a competitive event, such as a boxing match or an MMA event, but an actual real street fight. So how is it that life is like combat? First, combat is total. It's not something that's fixed. It doesn't have any rules or regulations or boundaries. It's alive, fluid, unpredictable, and constantly changing. In a combative situation, there are numerous variables over which you have no control, such as the physical size of the opponent, their speed, power, and agility, their mental and emotional state, what type of martial arts style or method of fighting they might try to use against you, what type of actions that they might try to use against you, punching, kicking, grappling. You might be able to influence some of these variables, but you don't get to control them. Life is also something which is not static or fixed, but alive, fluid, constantly changing and unpredictable, sometimes rhythmic, sometimes random. And there are variables which will arise during certain situations in our life, some of which we may be able to influence, and some over which we have little or no control. What another person thinks about us, whether a person we love and care for feels the same way about us, whether we possess the right physical genetics that will allow us to excel in a particular athletic endeavor or activity. Second, combat is about relationship. You're dealing with an alive opponent. It's a dynamic, active relationship, and therefore not something that you can pre-plan or pre-arrange in advance. You have to be able to attune and adapt to whatever is taking place or changing circumstances. Life, too, is all about relationship. None of us live in a vacuum. Anytime we're dealing with another person or a particular challenge or problem, we're involved in a dynamic, active relationship, and we need to remain flexible to be able to adjust and adapt to whatever happens or is taking place. Third, combat is a series of choices. Choosing the correct weapon or technique to use, establishing the proper distance in relation to an opponent, choosing the best time to use an attack, a counterattack, or a defensive action. In the same way, life is a series of choices, deciding on a career, finding a compatible partner or spouse, deciding where we want to live or how we want to live. For each of us, our lives are filled with all sorts of both personal and professional choices. Finally, combat combines different elements which can and do change from moment to moment. It might stress speed one moment, strength the next, then endurance. The same goes for life. Sometimes we might have to make a quick decision and move very quickly, whereas at another point in our life, we might need resilience to carry on and the endurance to continue even if it seems like we're not getting anywhere. In combat, when you're dealing with an opponent, sometimes everything is easy and things just seem to go the way you want them to. You can move in and out of range, outtime the opponent, and score against them at will. You're in complete control of the situation. Other times the opponent is tougher and you have to work harder in order to defeat them. And there may be times where the opponent overwhelms you or suddenly lands an unexpected shot against you, and you momentarily lose control of the situation and have to rely on your defensive skills and actions in order to cover up and weather the storm. The same goes for life. Sometimes everything is easy and things go just the way we want them to. Things come to us without any problem and we feel in complete control of the situation. Other times, things don't work out as we planned, and we have to struggle and work hard to do what we want to do or achieve what we want to achieve. And there are times when life might hit us with an unexpected shot or try to literally kick the stuffing out of us, and our ability to cover up, protect ourselves, and come back fighting will determine whether we achieve victory or suffer defeat. So does the saying, life is combat, mean that everyday life is unfair and unkind, and that we must constantly fight in order not to be crushed or destroyed by it? No, not at all. Living life as if it were a never-ending and constant battle is not only unwise, it's unhealthy. What it means is that for each of us, life is the arena we must step into every day. But unlike the warrior facing off against a physical adversary, the vast majority of the battles we will be engaging in are against invisible opponents, such as fear, doubt, anxiety, self-imposed mental and physical limitations, all of the powers that would attempt to crush us, restrict us, limit us, and prevent us from actualizing our true potential. That is where, for each of us, life is combat and should be dealt with accordingly. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. And if you liked this video and got something out of it, hit that like button and share. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like further information concerning Chris Kent Jeet Kune Do or dynamic personal liberation, go to my website, www.ckjkd.com. Until next time.